Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
As for my background in building and running online businesses, I had zero experience prior to this in running an online business. This was my first go, something outside of my day job. So I have a day job as a supply chain analyst, and I'm very comfortable managing inventory, dealing with logistics, shipping, all the operational activities that go with an online business like this. I had zero experience with advertising, PPC, building a brand story, dealing with consumers, trying to figure out what they want. Limited experience there. I decided to use the FBA platform because, frankly, an easy entry into that side of things, right? Using PPC to advertise to customers. The FBA platform is very simple because of my limited experience in that side of things, right? The brand, the advertising. I haven't branched this out into any other platforms, right? It's solely been FBA because, frankly, that was the easiest thing for me to get into, having zero experience. And that's probably an opportunity for the next buyer if they have experience with other platforms, advertising, and building a brand story.
So why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
I'm selling this business because the cash that I can get from the sale right now is going to allow me to either do one or two things: scale up and buy a much larger business, or I'm also interested in real estate. So I'm either going to do one of those two things. I haven't decided yet. I guess it depends on which opportunity presents itself first, but I'm watching businesses come up for sale that frankly are much larger that the cash from the sale of this business will allow me to buy. And I'm kind of watching those opportunities pass me by. That's why I'm selling the business, ready to use the cash from the sale of this business to roll it into a much larger one.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
As far as work that it takes to maintain this business, it's less than 10 hours a month. In some cases, less than 5. So once a week, I conduct an inventory planning session and lay out what I'm going to send to Amazon. So I do that once a week. It's probably just an hour long. I look at what inventory I have, what's selling, and what I want to send to Amazon. Once a month, I conduct a much bigger planning session that's probably, a couple hours long. And in that much larger planning session, I'm planning my replenishment orders with suppliers. I'm looking at the financials, so closing the books and looking at, okay, what are my costs coming in? Is everything looking good? What are my margins? Then I may or may not look at PPC after I launch a product. I run PPC initially to get the product launched, and after that, I just pretty much turn off PPC for the most part and let the product sell organically. I might run a little bit, but there's not really a need for me to look at that, all the time. So maybe I look at PPC once a month, maybe I don't. And then the only other item would be, communication with suppliers on a pretty regular basis. So periodically I'll look at reviews that we're getting from our customers, return feedback, that sort of thing, to see if there's any way that we could improve the products that we have And if we can, I'm going to bounce those ideas off suppliers, see what they think, see how much it would cost. And I just do that on a regular basis. But overall, it's not a lot of time, less than 10 hours a month spent to maintain it. In some cases, less than 5 hours a month.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
We have a product line and there's just some obvious gaps in it. And the products are pretty much already identified. And I would launch those products. Additionally, there's a couple variations that we could offer for another product. I would launch those variations. This is where my experience is limited, but I think one of the niches that I'm in, the consumers relate heavily to brands and brand stories. They want to buy from a trusted brand. And if somebody has the skills and experience to build that, which I don't, again, my experience is all operational, that's an opportunity for somebody. So I think branching out onto other platforms, building a brand story, filling the gaps in the product line, launching a couple of variations, those are ways that I think will all fuel growth for this business.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
I think the biggest risk with this business and any other online business is just competition. So any business that's selling products online, it's just smart to keep an eye on your competitors, see what they're doing, look at your reviews, your customer feedback, and continue to improve your products if you can. And that helps to mitigate the risk of, competition that comes with running an online business where you're selling products. So I would say don't sit still, but continue to make your products better as you go along and listen to your customers. Look at the reviews, look at any return feedback that you have and take that feedback and put it into your products. And that's how you stay ahead of competition.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
I think officially I put 6 months, more than happy to fully support for 6 months. I will show the buyers how I manage inventory, how I manage PPC, how I launch products, how I find products, do, any research, how I look at customer feedback and try and improve products, how I manage my supplier relationship. So I think I put 6 months full support. Honestly, it's, simple enough. This business just be an FBA and nothing else, that it's not going to take that long. But that said, if I get a call from the buyer 10 months down the road, asking me how to do something or what I think about an idea, I'm going to help them out. I'll take the call. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to fully support, fully transition, teach as much as I can the new buyer, my processes, how I look at things, and get them where they need to be. And, if the new buyer doesn't have a lot of experience, it's not going to take that long to learn how I run this. And if a new buyer has a lot of experience, they're probably not going to need me much at all. And I'm excited to see what they can do with this thing because I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Got it. And regarding the sale of the business, would you agree to a non-compete?
I confirm that I commit to the non-compete. I'm not going to go start a business or buy a business that competes in the same categories or niches. The buyer does not have to worry about that.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earnout agreement?
I would say no. So the price of the business is based on the performance historically. Based on that historical performance, I'm not interested in an earnout for that. I am projecting that the business does much better this year. That is not priced into the current price of this business. If, an offer were to come in for a higher price, but with an earnout based on, these projections and whether or not the gains materialize, I'm open to that. So I'm open to an earnout for, potentially a higher price based on future sales increases that haven't materialized. For the price that we currently have set for this business that's based on historical performance, I'm not interested in an earnout for that. I'm open to a seller note, that sort of thing, maybe a 10% seller note, but that's where it stands on the earnout.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
I think this business is worth buying because, frankly, there's a lot of opportunity. As I've said previously, all of my experience working in my career has been operational to this point. So I'm a supply chain analyst in my day job. I have zero experience building a brand, advertising, marketing. That's not my specialty. And someone that has those skills can take this thing to another level. Because of my limited experience, I'm selling on one platform. I'm not advertising on any other platforms. The consumers in one of the niches that I'm in relate strongly to brands, very heavily. They want to buy from a trusted brand. So there's a huge opportunity there for someone to build that brand story, use social media influencers. I don't even have a website. There's things that can be done there that are a big opportunity for a buyer that has the right skills. And I know that somebody with more experience can take it to another level.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.